die was right there.
Right.
So,
speaking of good players with good decks, they're going to look at Chris McDaniel. Judging by the number of cards that he's currently holding in his hands, it looks like he might be trying to go off in Game 3.
Yep.
Oh, he's resolving a Gifts Ungiven. So
anytime Gifts Ungiven resolves in that deck, the game usually ends within one turn. So,
this is Game 3. Chris McDaniel and Chi Sang Cheng are tied, one game apiece.
And this looks brutal. It looks like super regrowth, regular regrowth.
There's no heartbeat yet, right?
He doesn't need heartbeat to go off. He doesn't want it.
Okay. It's on 8. Looks like an active Lavamancer. Yeah, it's funny, if he heartbeats, he could actually get double charred right out of the game.
He might just try to go off without heartbeat. And Mind's Desire. Well, especially if you don't have Mind's Desire, heartbeat's a lot less necessary. You just get off 1 or 2 early harvests. He has Super Regrowth as one of the cards that
yeah, Nostalgic Dreams is a very key card.
Is going into his hand, so that A ups the storm count and B doubles the number of potential early harvests you can cast.
Oh, Chang has no cards in hand.
I mean,
interesting. Chang is just watching to see what happens.
Chris is going to have to fizzle on the Mind's Desire, I think, in order to lose this game. And from 8 life, no cards. How big is
he doesn't even have to go for it this turn. Firewalker is 2/2, 3/3.
Quite dangerous.
3 tokens, so it's a 4/4. Yeah, he has to go off this turn. He dies.
I wonder if Chang figured this out. Chris told me he was siding out. Moment's Peace.
Right.
Because
I think he was siding out 1 Moment's Peace, just because Chang has so much burn and so many fewer creatures than the typical red deck wins deck.
But he also, we talked about it, that Chang might be siding out Genju the Spires because it's so slow. But
and there's a Moment's Peace in McDaniel's graveyard right now.
Oh, so well, he's tons of time then.
Well, one more turn.
A full turn's a lot in a deck that can draw 4 or 5 cards.
If Chang drew Char, he'd be dead. 2 from Lavamancer, untap, 2 from Lavamancer, Char.
Very powerful, those in the graveyard.
So, if Chris slow rolls it, you're basically saying that Chang is a 1-outer. If he slow rolls it.
That's 1 card he can draw. 4 copies of the card, yeah. There's also the Lava Dart issue, where
I always forget about the Lava Dart issue. Free burn.
McDaniel really wants to win at a life total above 3 because his opponent can just flash back all the Lava Darts that Mind's Desire, that Brain Freeze puts in his graveyard.
Very good point. It's interesting. We often talk about how combo decks don't necessarily give strong players the ability to play their best game because the combo decks just have one game plan that they have to go for.
Mm-hmm.
And little things like going off with 1 or 2 more life and being aware of that is a key differentiator between a really strong player playing a combo deck and someone else who's capable of mechanically doing the same thing.
That's a good point.
I'm sure he's thinking about that. Go?
No, I think we're catching player audio from a different game.
Okay. Heartbeat. Oh, here comes early harvest then, right?
McDaniel has played Heartbeat of Spring. Yeah, with no cards in Chang's hand, it's much safer.
Yeah, 1 will be floating. Here comes early harvest, and good game. That'll be
certainly looking good for Chris McDaniel.
3 spells on the storm count minimum. There's probably another manipulation card in Star Wars Kid's hand.
Does indeed get early harvest out of his sideboard with the Cunning Wish.
I like the classic early harvest picture the best of all the different early harvest pictures.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really like some of the older school Magic art that's kind of softer look, kind of like the Rebecca Gay stuff rather than, I mean, obviously Kev Walker is awesome.
Super awesome, yes.
But, variety is the spice of life, as they say.
I agree with you.
So.
Alright, so 3 spells and counting, all his mana.
It might be a tight go-off. He might really need a good Mind's Desire. Maybe we were wrong.
Space Stormy has a good point in the forums. Most decks Most played decks here, Affinity and Goblins. In the top 8? Nope. Number 1, number 2, both went 0 for the top 8.
What's the last part you said?
You see most played decks in Columbus for Tog and Rock, and they both missed top 8 there.
Where are Castle and Haroon? Where you want? Haroon played Psychotog with Life from the Loam this tournament, actually. You know that Rock is bad when
Even Jerome Remy doesn't play.
yeah, when the
He was arguing with me that the green splash counted.
to making it the Rock.
Yeah.
He has a Genesis in his deck.
Pernicious Deed, right?
I mean,
Putrefy.
well, you remove Peace just to get a Storm Spell in the stack.
Sure. Cast Moment's Peace. Storm count up to 4.
This is scary.
Blue floating.
I mean, come to think of it, we saw Masashi
And yeah, Mind's
fizzle
Desire.
so many times. Remember last year?
That's
Playing
true.
Mind's Desire.
So this is just for 4, huh?
Yeah. And plus, so it's 5 total.
That's not very many.
No, but like Masashi fizzled against Olivier game after game,
In the Columbus top 8.
Yeah.
True.
and playing an at least arguably stronger deck. Like, I mean, this deck's really super powerful, but you know, Masashi didn't share his mana engine. What do we got?
All right.
1.
What are they?
Let's zoom in. It looks like land.
Can't
Oh,
see.
Gifts Ungiven.
Oh, gifts. That helps. How much mana does he have left, though?
It looks like only 2. I don't know. Does he have floating?
Desires right now.
Is a blue floating. And now he has the option to play instants in between each copy of the Storm copy resolving. So he could play the Gifts Ungiven right there. He just thought about it.
Whoa. Woo,
Oh,
yay!
early harvest.
USA!
Ha ha.
Nice one.
Early harvest allows McDaniel to untap, allows him to play whatever he gets with that Gifts Ungiven.
How lucky.
Meanwhile, on the back table, Irvin Tormos has evened it up at 2 games apiece. Move them to the front table, Becker. Tormos and Moreno, put them on the hero table. 2 games
And-
apiece, Tormos drew a bunch of violent eruptions.
A free Gifts Ungiven, and that's all she wrote.
Should be, right?
One of those cards will be Mind's Desire.
Well, we know that the... moving G to the hero table.
What's his remaining card, Becker?
It's the Nostalgia Dreams, right?
Yeah. If it's Nostalgia Dreams, then...
Oh, it's an island.
Oh.
We saw the gifts. He didn't get the Nostalgia Dreams from the gifts, of course.
How can he not be smiling after turning over
Early
at early harvest? I mean, like, I understand having the kind of frowny face, but I mean, when you turn over the early harvest with 2 down, like, certainly that's worthy of a little snicker. I mean, he caught trips on the turn there, you know, like bottom set maybe, like, oh, I have 3 6s.
All right, figuring out what the gifts for. There's the free gifts. Gifts, Factor Fiction, and what are the other 2?
Mind's Desire is definitely not getting anywhere near. But that's what's so brutal about Gifts Ungiven is that, like, clearly he can't give him Mind's Desire.
Oh,
right?
Cunning Wish is the other card.
Yeah.
So he's going to get either... He's going to get the gifts, I think. Gifts, Fact, don't give him the Cunning Wish.
No one beats Factor Fiction. I don't think it's ever happened. you saw Tsuyoshi against Antoine. Factor Fiction resolved, and then he died.
It's true.
I actually think there's like all those lines of text, so people just finish reading when it says, like, you know, turn over 5 cards, you know, pick the bigger pile.
Uh-huh.
Like there's another line, it's just, and then your opponent loses.
Shi Feng Chang studies his options.
And
Looks like Cunning Wish and Gifts Ungiven.
And
go to the hand. Factor Fiction goes to the yard, and Mind's Desire goes to the yard.
what kind of goodies does Chris McDaniel have in this? Let's see. He can get no early harvest anymore.
No, he should have got mad. He's got a Factor Fiction in his sideboard.
Triple Brain Freeze. He's probably going to have to go for the Factor Fiction and burn mana. I mean, not that he's, mana light right now, but he is somewhat limited.
He got the Cunning Wish, right?
Yes.
He can go Wish for Wish for Wish for Wish for Wish for Brainstorm, right?
For Brain Freeze?
For Brain Freeze.
Probably has to do some math.
I mean, he's already played, 7 spells? 8 spells?
Well,
It was 5 at the Mind's
Desire
Desire.
itself was for 5.
He played Early Harvest and Gifts off of that, so he's at 7.
So that's 1, 2,
think-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get 24 mana. That's additional 8, 15.
I mean, he also
gets 2 blue in pool.
he
So
also gets the gifts.
we're talking
again.
about a minimum of 20. It's got to be lethal, actually.
Yeah, I think he can just Cunning Wish for Cunning Wish.
I think he's just confirming that he can't lose to any.
Oh, you know what the other thing he's going to do is? He's going to get a Deep Analysis in the loop so that he can go ahead and win now rather than be forced to say go and let Chang die on his Frost Tab.
That's super clever.
Why not, right?
I mean, let me think. If he does that, then that's
With no cards in Chang's hand, I don't think it matters, but still the right way to play it, right?
it's somewhat dangerous though because of the triple lava dart problem, right? 3 + 3 + 2. If he has to flash it,
Sure.
so I think I think you don't do
Saves
anything
their lava
fancy.
mace or
No
activate it.
fancy, just regular. I don't think he can afford for the deep analysis just because of the lava dart problem.
Oh, we can't afford to flash back
Yeah,
to
like
analysis.
So I think that he's just thinking about it. He's just making sure. Let's go for a regular kill.
Yeah.
2 + 2 + I think Chang's only got 3 lava darts in his deck, right? Yeah, he's not gonna die. So I think that. Do you think Star Wars Kid doesn't remember that he only has 3 lava darts?
No.
He's got. That's
He's
got to
just,
be one of the
he's
things he's
pretty
aware
slow
of.
and deliberate.
He actually
Doesn't
went
wanna
to
mess
time
up.
a couple of times, and Elf told him to play faster. And he was like kind of mad. He's like, I've won every single round so fast in just the last 2 rounds. I had to win against really good players, and I slightly over time. But I think the safest route is probably just Cunning Wish combo.
I sure looks like enough mana to me to go Wish for Wish for Wish for Wish for Wish for Brain Freeze. Meanwhile, we're going to bring you coverage of Game 5 between Irvin Tormos and William Moreno. We'll let that match get ready, and we'll hold it. So as soon as this ends, we'll let those guys go play Game 5, and we'll be watching.
His play's just been super solid.
Yeah. He knows this deck.
What's he looking for? Is he trying to get in Chang's head for the next game? I mean, that's a very John Finkel or Bob Marr thing to do. Like, you've got the win, but you want to get into their head a little bit.
I think he's just trying to make sure.
Like, Bob's philosophy is always let your opponent make mistakes. Like, walk them into places where they can make mistakes. John?
Maybe it's a little tighter than we think.
Are there any reanimation spells left in Chris's deck, or are they all gone? Can you just look in his graveyard and see if he has Nostalgia Dreams and Revive on? So it looks like Chris is playing Gifts Ungiven right now.
Yeah.
So one thing we have to keep in mind, there's a Nostalgia Dreams and a Revive in Chris's graveyard.
Okay.
Therefore, it could be tight. Like, I don't know if it's not even really. Is it worth it to get Cunning Wish? He's already got Cunning Wish. Is there a second card? Oh, it is worth it because he can freeze twice. his second Cunning Wish allows him to freeze twice.
Oh, nice.
So, that will pretty much be it. Again, Chang's not going to give him a Mind's Desire. We're in agreement there, right?
Yes.
So, if he gives him, I think he's got to know the Cunning Wish has got to go to the bin, and then he gives him.
Then he gets Nostalgic.
If he gets Nostalgic Dreams, it's definitely over. So.
He kills Nostalgic Dreams to Mind's Desire.
And
you have to give him.
He gives him the kill cards, and that's probably game then, right?
Yeah,
Double Brain Freeze can't be beaten from this position.
I don't think there was anything Chang could do. McDaniel had a really nice gift split there.
The thing that I really like about this is we pointed out over again is that we were thinking like, oh no, we can just get him here. Let's just go for the regular thing. But Chris is like, no, this might be tighter. I might have to do this double up to win. And again, just tiny minor plays. When you're under the gun, 8 life, the opponent doesn't actually have you dead, but you don't want to give him even 2% chance of winning. But those are the plays, I think, that are the difference between top 8, maybe top 4 here, top 32, maybe day 1. And it's academic.
People on the board keep asking why the players are being allowed to play in sleeves. It is true that the sleeves create some glare, but because it's the extended format, there's cards in so many different print runs and
different players,
so many different levels of glare.
Skills.
We made the decision for tournament integrity. I think we just have to put up with a little bit more glare off the sleeves. It's so hard to create a truly unmarked extended deck.
That's actually one of my favorite stories when Bob Maher won his Chicago. Again, a different extended format. No sleeves, of course. He picks up his opening hand, and he actually, he's stunned. And he told me afterwards, he's like, this wasn't my island. Something's wrong. Where's my island? We talk a little bit about, being superstitious about play.
Yeah.
Your missing island is, that was the island that got me to the top 8. What are you doing to my deck?
It's funny. The Billy Moreno and Irvin Tormos are shuffled up and ready to go with Game 5, but we're making them wait till this ends. They decided to take a bathroom break, but they had to go separately, one at a time. They did rock, paper, scissors to see who got to go to the bathroom first.
Bathroom breaks are the funniest in top 8 situations. I was just playing in States last week, and my top 8 and top 4 matches were each in excess of 2 hours.
All right. Well, it looks like Chris McDaniel has finally cleaned up shop. Chris McDaniel, the Star Wars kid, has taken a 2-1 lead in this match. McDaniel now leads 2-1. He's 1 match away from advancing to the semifinals. Now, meanwhile, we're going to go watch the match between Irvin Tormos and Billy Moreno.
You've
go to the hero table.
Randy, you've been in Star Wars Kid's spot before, kind of, an early Pro Tour in your career, extended Pro Tour, you're playing a blatantly overpowered deck. Does this change your life? Look, will we see StarWarsKid.com maybe a week from now? Star Wars Kid T-shirts, with a giant American flag behind them, something like this. What do you think?
Sure. Where does Star Wars Kid come from anyway? Do we know why he's the Star Wars Kid?
Okay, this is a silly story. He played at the same store as Ted Knutson,
right? And
no one knew his name. Okay, and he was just trying to barn on to hey, what are you guys doing? We're playing Magic the Gathering, and then is that like Star Wars? And he was the kid that played the Star Wars trading card game.
Okay,
and they didn't know his name. They were like, hey, Star Wars Kid, you want to get in a draft? And stuff like that. They just didn't know his name. So he's Star Wars Kid.
He played the old Decipher game.
And he was just
he was the kid who played Star Wars.
And then that's how he was known because, everyone plays Magic.
Right.
And then, there's maybe this kid who plays Star Wars, this kid who plays chess in the corner by himself.
Right.
There's, maybe 2 kids in the back room playing role-playing games. And then, one dude's, trying to break the Monopoly format. No one will play board games with him because they're, slow and boring. But he's just come on, Thimble. And then, he was the kid who was playing the Decipher Star Wars game. And they were like, hey, Star Wars Kid. Do you got any Drudge Skeletons for trade? And he was like, Drudge Skeletons is very good. It has regeneration. you know.
I don't like the impressions very much.
All of my
You should
voices are
work
the
on
same.
that
Like my wife's voice, you know.
Your impression of everyone
My
is the same
wife's voice, she has the same voice as John Schuler when I'm telling it. Like BDM, my wife, John Schuler, all have the same voice. Star Wars Kid, I was trying to give a whimsical child voice. Because he's a happy, whimsical child.
A valiant effort.
What?
But yeah, it's funny that I don't think anybody knew Star Wars Kid's real name until this weekend.
I knew his real name.
He's been on the Pro Tour for a couple of events now, right? He played the Team Pro Tour. I think he's played 2 or 3.
He came in 9th at Grand Prix, New Jersey. Yes.
Oh.
And after he roomed actually with Brian Kibler at that event, and Kibler came in 2nd. And he came 9th there, so he was qualified for the previous extended Pro Tour. And he won a pizza cube for this, and he won the LCQ in Philadelphia. So.
And now he finally has his own name.
And
good for him.
I mean, I don't
And
think
he's one match away from the semifinals. Speaking of being one game away from the semifinals, we have Irvin Tormos and Billy Moreno. Billy's from Texas. He's been on tour a couple of times. This is his first really big finish. He found life of the loam, and he and his group in Texas were testing it. They thought it was amazing. They tried breaking it in control decks. They tried breaking it in madness decks. They wound up sort of halfway in between. Mostly it's an aggro, blue-green madness type deck, but it's got Psychotogs for more madness outlets, and with the Ravnica dual lands, why not add Psychotog, right?
Let me interrupt you here. Let's look at this game. Interesting play by Billy. He opens on Basking Root Waller, but he's holding a madness outlet.
Interesting.
It's interesting. I watched him play. His early game and mulligan decisions were really interesting.
He was now, with Frostling sitting on Irvin Tormos' side of the board, he's declining to kill the Rootwalla. I'm a little surprised by that.
He'll probably try to... See, the thing is, I think that Billy did this to try to bait the getting something like Lava Dart or Frosting out of the way because of the vulnerability of Aquamoeba to those same kinds of effects.
Interesting.
But
that's his only madness outlet in his hand?
It looked like... Actually, this...
He's got Arrogant Worm and Lava Man. Yeah, he's got Aquamoeba, Wonder, Arrogant Worm.
The Target guys had a really interesting strategy against Red Deck Ones with their blue-green mana decks back in the day. They would actually just, like, they loved Aquamoeba. They would start 2 maybe and then side in more against them and then just never use it. Like, just put it in front of things and, like, it seems kind of stupid, but, like, it's a 1/3. It kills most of the creatures in their deck. And if you don't give them a shot to kill it with just dealing 1, it's super annoying. Tormos' draw is wired. Look at that. It's all the cards that you need to beat Billy's like double flame tongue.
Does he have the land for it though? How much land does he have?
He will.
He's got 2, so that's pretty good. Hearth Kami, Lava Dart, a couple flame tongues. Pretty solid draw.
Billy looks way behind here.
He attacks with Frostlink.
Yeah, this is just a swindle. Like Billy will definitely block, I think.
Right.
Not use it. He's going to lose his Root Walla, and then Tormos is going to play backup Frostling and have Lava Dart. So
would you throw them both at the Aquamoeba then to finish it off?
Did he not block?
Wow. Bizarre.
The thing is, like, Billy could get in a lot of problems here because he's probably highly valuing the Arrogant Worm that's in his hand, and that Arrogant Worm is just going to bite it to one of those Flame Tongue Cabos within maybe 2 or 3 turns.
Oh, it's 1 Flame Tongue, 1 Fledgling Dragon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw FLFL. I mean, you've got to try to upgrade Aquamoeba for Arrogant Worm here, right?
I think so.
And I mean, especially when it's costing them a card. I guess I like the Basking Walla block. I mean, the Basking Walla attack. I think that you just hit for 2 and pass and see what he does.
Nothing.
And then maybe get upgraded during combat.
Yeah, during combat
steal
to
an
block.
extra Frostlink. I think that's the right way to play it. Yeah.
And Tormos just takes the damage. Moreno does not flip, as you suspected.
This game's going to be really close.
Irvin Tormos is a freshman at Carnegie Mellon University. Worked with Benjamin Peebles-Mundies for this deck. I say worked, but what he really did was bum a deck off his buddy. Buddy
There's a long
tuned the
tradition
deck.
of good men doing that, so...
This is the first Pro Tour that Tormos has ever played in, too. So he's making his Pro Tour debut.
There's a nice history of CMU players playing their first extended Pro Tours.
It's true.
With 1 mana red cards that can kill multiple things.
Yeah, people forget Mike Turian was also playing his first Pro Tour at Chicago and put up a 20-somethings.
Who's Mike Turian? He.
And Turian did it with a red-white deck. I mean, it was
Turian played Fireball in that format.
He
as I
did.
recall.
and Stone Rain.
Sorry, it's not bad. Like you guys highly anticipated counterpost, correct?
Yeah, and I also think that format was one where because you had Mirage fetch lands for actual dual lands, old school dual lands. So it's very similar where everybody could just do crazy things with their mana base and have all these colors. So somebody with some aggression in their deck shows up with Savannah Lines and Stone Rains, and you can really just punish some people who are gambling with their mana bases.
Now, we differ on this issue. You think that the removal of Wasteland is happy fun times for
Absolutely.
Magic the Gathering, and I think that Wasteland is the only thing that controls the broken decks.
I think Magic is just more fun when people can cast their spells.
I agree, but I think it's more fun when both people can cast their spells. And I think that
Why is it? I don't know that it's necessarily control that takes
no
advantage.
oh, not that's not what I'm saying. Like if you're playing against a deck like Chris McDaniel's,
Sure.
I mean that's kind of a bad Wasteland example because Wasteland's utterly useless against him. But like
True.
you don't get to really play a lot of proactive Magic. The game is short, and you feel completely outclassed.
But that's a problem with combo. That's not Wasteland's fault. So Billy Moreno chose not to put that Arrogant Worm into play. He just...
Wow, that's a great play by Billy. Look at this.
Why is it great?
Okay, he's going to go and put damage on the stack on one of them, right? The one
Yes.
that's putting damage on the stack is going to ting the Alchemeba with damage on the stack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now he's going to get a free look at the air. Oh, he's putting it over there. Oh, that's going to die.
Now suddenly there's damage on an Aquamoeba. It will die if you put the Arrogant Worm into play. He's going to pump Root Wall instead. And get it Lava Darted. Now there's no Arrogant Worm. And the Aquamoeba is going to die too.
Oh.
I mean, it's sort of 3 for 2, but...
He might have to hardcast Arrogant Worm this game because FTK is definitely going to try to kill. What? Oh,
I wonder if Tormos wants a creature out there for his FTK.
but
I'm not so sure.
I don't like Billy's mana tap. He can't even bluff Circular Logic.
True.
Oh, what?
So
What
2
plays-
Frost...
Oh, is this Threshold?
Is it? Oh, that'd be awesome.
See, you're cheering for the CMU player, but I'm cheering for Billy because he's coming to New York next week.
Pillage on the dual land.
He's actually drafting
1,
with us
2,
on Tuesday, I
3,
hear.
5? I don't think it's threshold yet.
I don't like Pillage on the dual land whatsoever. He's playing against Umezawa's Jete. The way he moved his land, I almost think he's looking to draw Wild Mongrel here. And is it Wild Mongrel? It smells like Wild Mongrel. No, what? Ooh, that's spicy.
Life from the Loam. Couple lands.
What a fair card. Utterly fair, Life from the Loam. I really, really dislike that Pillage on the dual land play.
I think he's trying to get to threshold.
Yeah, but there's getting the threshold and there's playing strategic game, and Umezawa's Jete is just I guess he has Hearthkami to back it up.
Yeah.
Oh, and a backup Pillage? All right, never mind. I'm wrong.
He just drew the backup Pillage this turn, but the Hearthkami is the right answer, I think. Shi-Sang Chang has Pyrostatic Pillar in Game 4, by the way. So Chris McDaniel has his work cut out for him if he's going to
slightly
win
more than
3-1.
50% of those games. Depends on if he has other pressure.
So what's your play here? Do you play Hearthkami? Do you play Pillage? Do you run out a 2/2 Fledgling Dragon?
I don't think you play Pillage. Well, 2/2 Fledgling Dragon, there's no downside to it. He's
It
not
doesn't
playing a
seem
red
like-
deck. But I think Pillage is just awful. He just showed you Life from the Loam.
Why not run out to Fledgling Dragon?
There's no reason not to. I guess he might be bluffing
Very
burn
powerful.
spells.
Very rare.
Is there anything ginormous and dangerous in Billy's deck that he can go get? Like Arrogant Worm's the most dangerous guy he's got, right?
Psychotog.
Not bad.
Oh, I forgot about him. The interesting question is whether or not Billy dredges on upkeep. What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think his lands are that interesting.
No, he can get more land in his graveyard that way.
But what is he digging for? He's got a Centaur Garden and a Cephalid Coliseum and a Cycling Land.
Yeah, or he could flip over Deep Analysis, Dark Blast.
But he
Dark
costs
Blast
himself
is-
a draw.
Dark Blast is tight against this deck.
But he costs himself a draw to do that.
Yeah, but he's getting a 3-for-1 back.
Only if he flips land. He's looking at one land to the graveyard. If he's just recursing a fetch land.
And I guess recursing a fetch land and taking damage is not great against red deck ones anyway. Violent Eruption deck, we should say.
Upkeep.
And, ooh, upkeep gets Ungiven.
Okay.
That helps.
Understatement
Now I think
of
you
the
might
year.
be. Now I think there might be some loaning in the future.
A blast.
Wow. That's a great kiss Ungiven.
He's probably going to put Lonely Sandbar here. He's behind, though. I think he doesn't realize how far... I wonder if he has Cabal Therapy in his deck. If he has Cabal Therapy, he'll definitely get it here.
You have the deck list.
No, in his deck right now.
Ah. It was in the sideboard. He had the option to bring it in or
If
not.
he brings in Cabal Therapy and he just therapies him for Flint on Cavu, sees he has a Fledgling Dragon, puts down any dork, flashes it back, the game's over. But I don't think it's in his deck.
Looks like Dark Blast, Cephalid Coliseum, Polluted Delta. Should be, what, Centaur Garden or Lonely Sandbar?
I would definitely get Lonely Sandbar.
Our spotter, John Becker, says the Lonely Sandbar's in the sideboard.
Who sides out Sandbar?
Don't know.
Sandbar's my girlfriend.
Yeah, okay.
Weird twin.
Island in Yamamaya Coast.
I don't really know how.
You give him Island Yamamaya Coast, right?
Yeah, he dredges, though.
Okay.
There's no... Is he bluffing a black... Wait, does he not have another black source, or is it in his hand? There's a second Water Grave in his deck. Oh, he's got black in his hand.
Yeah, the black got pillaged, and then he loaned it back.
Like, Tormos has got to either remember that or not be stupid enough to have forgotten. But the only thing that I don't like about this is that Billy really runs the risk of just dying to a Fledgling Dragon right in this game, and he might not see it yet. He doesn't have a lot of outs against Fledgling Dragon. He has to kind of draw Jitte or Psychotalk.
Two lands, I guess.
He can counter it with Circular Logic.
Yeah, but I mean, this Dark Blast killing a Hearth Kami is gonna put Tormos close to Threshold, if not Threshold. And flips an Arrogant Worm and a Smother, which is kind of poopy.
Pays 2 to get the green-black dual land untapped.
Literally no. That's just strictly better because he'll take 2 from the Hearth Kami either way.
Yeah.
Look, how many cards in his graveyard, John?
Tormos, I think, has 5.
So he's counting it himself. What's the tell?
Hearth Kami attacks.
There's no reason to pay the life and not kill it here.
Ow.
That's one
Six
that's a
cards.
Jitte up is what you should be thinking of it as. What can we get a look at Billy's hand? Can we get a look at Billy's hand? He's just got to run the dragon out here, right? Billy, not Tormos.
You would just run out Dragon?
Yeah,
He's got a Goblin Legionnaire is the other play.
Shrug.
He can get himself to Threshold if he really wants to.
It's actually not bad. He's just gonna pillage.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, Billy's got to know the jig's up when
Pillaging into
life from the loam.
Perhaps Threshold is relevant to Mr. Tormos. He dredges.
Thank you.
Wow. He dredges life from the loam. Billy's hand isn't all that exciting right
His
now.
hand's not good at all. So.
He's still got that Arrogant Worm that he never madnessed out. He's got a Root Walla, and he's got a bunch of lands.
He's definitely gonna cast the Root Wall. It's probably gonna die.
He also has a Wonder. None of those cards do anything. Is dredging even right there? Like, if he had Cycle lands, I'd get it, but he just has lands. It's not clear he needed more.
I wonder if Billy sees it, but that whenever Red Deck Wins is in this position, they're always holding Flame Tongue Cabu. Like, they always are holding Flame Tongue Cabu.
I guess Cephalo Coliseum gives him some good draw.
So
from the low
he's not playing his Root Wallet. He has to play his Root Wallet only in a situation where he has Dark Blast access. As silly as that sounds.
Yeah, it's pretty smart, actually, of him not to play the Root Wallet there.
It's very good. But
the other thing he's doing that's nice is the Cephalo Coliseum is his answer to the cycle lands. Like, he's loaming a bunch of lands into his hand, and he can then discard them into the Coliseum. It's actually faster than cycling.
Yeah, his deck's really powerful. Again, I think it's the best deck in this top 8, if not this tournament. The thing that all I know is I make the same mistake against Red Deck Wins with blue-green decks all the time, and my Wild Monger always gets killed by Flames on Cabu, and I'm like, why did I always do that mistake? Never learn. This is so dangerous.
Oh, Tormos has to worry about.
He's going to get
logic.
No, it's not just that. He can get his Dragon Dark Blasted from this spot.
Well, he's at threshold now.
I don't.
That was what the pillage was for.
Oh, I think it's 6. No, the Hearth Kami was 6.
Yeah, he's at threshold, but he's looking at Circular Logic mana. Billy's play, not only does he not feed Root Wallet to Flame Tongue combo, he also gets to bluff Circular Logic when he can then end step use his mana for the Coliseum, which is the play he really cares about.
He can't Madness it. He has to use the Coliseum.
Well, that changes everything. That might be really good then.
He can end step Coliseum. He doesn't have Circular Logic. My point is he gets to bluff Circular Logic.
I understand what you're saying, but do you think that's what Tormos is playing around?
Yeah, I think that's why he's not running a dragon out there. He's looking across at Counterspell Magic. He thinks his game's all about Fledgling Dragon. He does not realize it'll just resolve. That if he plays the dragon, he wins, right?
Here it comes.
Oh, he goes for it. Thought about it, didn't really have another option. Came up with the right play. You got to just run it out there. I mean,
5/5 Fire Breather.
It's not like Billy's gonna take down the counterspell mana later if he waits. You just have to run it out there. Not
Billy has to
draw.
gang block that. That's the only way out, right? He's playing.
Get Wonder in the yard.
Yeah, and he's playing as FTK. I think this game just basically ended. He doesn't have like upheaval or anything for a big tournament.
Moreno chooses not to use Cephalo Coliseum. That surprises me.
Why he would?
Because he's got 3 lands in his hand that aren't doing anything.
But he would be much more likely to want to use that card to go discard Arrogant Worm, Basket Wall of Wonder, and block mid-combat, which is in a situation where he's far less likely to lose to a card like Flame Tongue Cabu, which is, I'm sure that's his play. He has exactly enough mana to do it, and he has to. Was there a Lava Dart in the graveyard? Like he has to pray that there's no Lava Dart.
I think there is.
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Oh, but it's threshold. He loses the.
Oh,
He
yeah.
stacks the mountain. He stacks
no.
the mountain. He keeps threshold.
I think he has to just bite it. Does he have the mana? Let's see, what's the mana? He's 1 short.
Yeah, he's 1 short of being able to pump the Root Wallet.
He's going to take like 8 here.
How many winners could you madness out? Just 2. Okay. We'll do this then.
Insurance policy.
It's pretty good. The little used white ability the Goblin Legionnaire could kick in here.
Yeah, insurance policy. Looks like I'm wrong on almost every pick this quarterfinal. I thought Billy would go to the finals. It's not over yet. He's like 18 life. Done to himself.
Okay. Dragon heads into the red zone. And here comes Coliseum.
Yeah, but this seems horrible to me. The defense is on the table. Oh, unless he's going, he can blast it. He's just gonna dump the Arrogant Worm, I think. He's got to dump them both. 3 cards, right? He's dumping Wonder, Arrogant Worm, and Basking Root Wallet, I think. Try to go to Declare blockers.
Dark Quest.
Yeah,
Dredge the Dark Quest, yeah. He's probably not gonna get there. Terrible Dredge. Yeah, you're right. The white ability on the Goblin Legionnaire is going to be what matters here. Arrogant Worm.
Root Wallet. Arrogant Worm.
And I'll pay the Madness.
Madness.
so it's only 5 power worth of blockers. And there is a lava dart.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dart's probably going to go to Root Walla before anything gets there.
I would think
And then he's going to put Arrogant Worm in front of Fledgling Dragon and use...
He's got Dark Blast.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's got to play around. He knows that Dark Blast is in Billy's hand. So there's a reason that he played the Goblin Legionnaire to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And he was probably not putting Goblin Legionnaire on using the white ability. But regardless, I don't think he's going to miss it. Billy's going to try to go to blockers. It looks like he's going to block. He's not blocking with both.
Doesn't help.
It does help.
You still lose the white ability of Goblin Legionnaire. Prevents 2.
So that's a total of 5, 6.
Prevent 2.
Wait. I had to draw Fireball.
Go.
That was a terrible turn for Billy.
Wow.
I think why not? I mean, if he blocks with both, that's total of 5, 6 coming in. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't help.
Doesn't help. That turn didn't really work out. It seems like waiting until he could pump the Root Walla, maybe?
I think he had to, but he must have been scared of the smoke.
I think once he got the chance to block, also, maybe he should just chunk with the Root Walla.
That's not a bad idea. If he lets him go to declare blockers.
Right.
Yeah, it might be just... I mean, in the top 8 of Approach War, you can't put your opponent on missing on table.
Right.
Okay.
It's just another terrible dredge.
Oh, we're still in. Interesting.
I'm not sure what he's looking for.
Is that like the only one or something?
Water?
Getting the Coliseum back?
It seems the whole one.
Must be.
You gotta draw 3 off Coliseum and get the chance to discard 3 times rather than just draw off the top. I mean, that's his engine. Instead of the cycling lands, he's Coliseum.
It's a powerful engine.
It's faster than cycling lands, right?
It also sets you behind, though.
You
Cycling lands, you don't fall behind.
That's a good point. This one uses up your land drops, and the cycling land engine does not.
Like the primary limiting factor in Magic is, or secondary limiting factor, I should say. So Study is a good card. Wait, except for he can't even Madness and Arrogant Worm here because.
I know this trick.
Because he already played a land.
No.
Oh, he didn't play a land.
Okay. Worm. I know that trick. It's very bad.
He doesn't know that there's a Flames on Cabin. It's just very bad.
Just
Madness is nothing.
2 games apiece. It's best 3 out of 5. So the winner of this goes to the semifinals and takes on either Chris McDaniel or Chi-Sang Chang.
Moreno's losing half his life total this turn.
Irvin Tormos smashes with Fledgling Dragon.
9, yeah.
Sends it into the red zone.
I would not even hold back. Every red man is going into that if I'm on
9.
Tormos' side.
Crunch. Half of Billy's life total.
No reason to give him an out
I'm sorry, it's a discard.
that he doesn't already have. Billy doesn't have any kind of a terror, right? Nothing.
Seems okay.
Like 6 lands in hand.
He's basically got to draw teeth.
You're done.
He does have Wander in the yard.
He has to draw teeth. Teeth
Psychic
gets him out of
Father
this. It's just, how many cards has Irvin Tormos got in hand?
We know he has a Flame Tongue Kavu.
Which is, it's only halfway relevant if Billy's playing his teeth.
Yeah.
He has more than enough graveyard to fuel teeth.
Looks like
Very
2.
powerful ones.
Like, pumping the Psychotog past Flame Tongue Kavu, there's no relevance between
Ooh, one of them's a Lava Dart.
This one you upkeep?
Lava Dart, Flame Tongue Kavu for
Yeah,
Irvin Tormos.
Actually, Billy's in there's a Lava Dart down and a Firebolt down, so it's 2, 3, 5.
Is it the
You can't take out
And
these
he's
like
on
the
6. He needs Psychotog right now.
Of the Psychotog variety?
And there's also a Nexus, so it's
Coliseum.
actually even worse.
Pop the Coliseum. Gotta find Dr. Teeth.
There's at least one Psychotog in the bin, so
Play myself.
Yeah. Draws Duress. Draws Arrogant Worm.
well, that's a good start. And
Oh, Wild Model. Wild Model Arrogant Worm.
and there it is. Oh,
Wow.
and Arrogant Worm's gonna open up the party.
He's got a circular logic in his hand too, with the mana to cast it.
Does he have sufficient mana? This actually, if he has sufficient mana, that's 6.
He cannot go Arrogant Worm and Psychotog.
He has to just not play the Arrogant Worm.
Right.
He has to just have the awareness to be like,
Yep.
Psychotog Circular Logic is my game plan now.
Yeah,
Just
he's always
toss
played
it.
a land this turn because we played the Cephalid Coliseum. So he's got 5 mana available.
And Dark Blast and Smother for insurance cards. With that Circular Logic, the game will still be close, but no one beats Dr. Teeth. Dr. Teeth's Circular Logic is Ruel's entire game plan, and Billy's about to show it too.
Ooh, only 1 blue mana available. Circular Logic is not going to get played.
It's only halfway relevant though, because Circular Logic doesn't have to counter Flame Tongue Kapu. As long as he has extra black mana to cast Smother.
Discards, is that land?
Yes.
Now he goes Psychotog Wild Mongrel, right?
Which is all in.
What?
I don't like that play at all.
He can't leave up blue,
Yeah, but
but he can leave up black.
except for the Wild Mongrel presents a non-Psychotog target to Flame Tongue Kapu, just to allow him. Oh, he's
Well,
gonna
there's
make
Wild
your play.
Mongrel. Is he going to leave up Mongrel Logic and keep Teeth back?
Wow, what a great play!
Is it?
Yes.
Doesn't the dragon beat up the Mongrel?
That doesn't matter. Beat up. What's beat up mean? Beat up. There's no beat up. There's trade. There's kill the 5/5. Counterspell. His play is awesome. Now the Mongrel's also a 3/3. There's no way that Fledgling Dragon gets into the red zone. The Fledgling Dragon is scared. He has the fear. He called up Van Paskins. He's like, the fear. You put white lands in your red deck. There's a sign of only one thing, and that's a Fledgling Dragon unwilling to enter the red
Says
zone.
go.
And Life from the Loam will get back the utterly broken Cephalid Coliseum once again. Blue mana will be open. Dr. Teeth will be clenching those teeth, but
Search back left.
I'm pretty sure that Billy Moreno will advance. 6 life is not a lot.
Oh, meanwhile, Chris McDaniel, congratulations to the Star Wars kid. He wins 3 games to 1. Managed to beat the Pyrostatic Pillar draw that came from Chi Sang Chang in game number 4. So Chris McDaniel waits in the semifinals for the winner of this game.
6 life is not a lot, but
There will be an American in the finals of this Pro Tour now.
I'm 95% sure Tormos has to flashback, Firebolt this turn, and cross his fingers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this game is still winnable for Tormos.
Agreed. 6 life is not a lot. I think that the plays are Moreno red zones with Wild Mongrel, gets in a free 2, plays Dr. Teeth, leaves up blue, black, black. Tormos might try to get cute with another creature. He's got Smother and Dark Blast for backup. And it's just, how big is Dr. Teeth got to be at this point? Yeah, if he draws Burn,
Yeah,
Tormos is going to win.
He's like 1 top deck Firebolt from winning this, right?
Like, oh no, Billy has the backup Arrogant Worm too.
Sure.
Like, not only will Fledgling Dragon not fight Dr. Teeth,
No, it's all about damage. It's just a question of whether Tormos can draw enough burn to deal 6 before Moreno can get through with damage.
I think Moreno's too fancy on these plays. He's too busy drawing a million extra cards, right? He has to have enough mana to deploy Dr. Teeth and defend. That's what's
He will.
important. I mean, Wild Mongrel's definitely, I guess Life from the Loam is right there because
It's
it allows...
Mongrel food.
Yeah, it allows Mongrel to just, he's got a red zone here.
Yeah, he wants
He
the
has to
Mongrel to
get
be
the
able to
free
beat up the
damage.
dragon.
Like, he's got to know that he's on a short leash. Any burn spell off the top of Tormos' deck is basically lethal because of the Firebolt. So Billy only has 2 options.
Yep.
Luckily, one of them involves using Cephalid Coliseum to hopefully draw another counterspell. But basically, any burn spell is sayonara. Do you think he's contemplating a greedy Arrogant Worm play here?
No.
His plan has got to be red zone, Dr. Teeth, go.
Go ahead.
Could also hold back.
Go? Go? Really? He's just giving Tormo. He's just giving him time. It's just gonna flashback Firebolt to the face.
Right.
That's horrible.
Or Flame Tongue Combo.
Oh god, this is terrible for him.
Can activate Coliseum.
It looked like Jitta from the bottom. Yeah, I think he's actually seeing how many Circular Locks he's got left in his deck. But Ancestral Recall is good, I hear.
No, the camera just left his hand. Didn't get to see what he drew. Jitta land Logic.
And that's a counter.
Coliseum delivered up Circular Logic.
Once again, does he have, how much mana does he have? 3? Arrogant Worm will calm down this turn. Oh, 2 mana?
Just 2 mana.
See, the glare on those sleeves makes it look like 3.
Yeah, he just used his blue for the Circular Logic.
There's no way that scared Fledgling Dragon's gonna red zone. But Billy has to play the Psychic Hog. He's falling further and further behind every turn he doesn't play the Psychic Hog. Who cares about other cute plays you can make? I wouldn't even dredge here. He's got to have a ton of cards in hand. Mongrel Food, Tog Food, whatever. Red Zone, Psychic Hog, go. He drew the Jitta though. The Jitta is super important here because once he gets counters on it, he can live.
True.
But he doesn't have the mana. He can actually cast Jitta, equip Jitta, and run Dr. Teeth this turn if he doesn't do anything cute. Nothing cute. No cute plays.
Looks like a pretty straightforward turn.
Draw.
Yep, no dredge.
Declines to dredge?
It's definitely right to decline to dredge. Psychotog, Jitta, Red Zone. These are the things that have to be done. Because if Jitta comes online, then burn is no longer a problem. But we know that Moreno is within...
Wild Mongrel into the red zone.
With no Jitta attached.
Seems like enough for me not to block.
I just do not understand this play. Why not equip Jitta to Wild Mongrel prior to bashing? Unless he's going to go for a cute play. If Chad Ellis were dead, he'd be rolling over in his grave.
There's Psychotog.
And he has to deploy a land and pass, because there's no way you play post-combat Jitta in this situation. Land pass. Yep.
Now, Irvin Tormos did draw and play a land last turn. He's now got enough to go flashback my Firebolt
to 4 and Lava Dart to 3, but not enough mana.
Right. He can cast a dart, and he can sack 2 darts. He's 1 damage short, right?
Here's the problem. Let's assume that that's Tormos' plan.
Yeah.
Billy end steps Arrogant Worm.
Right.
I'm not sure how much mana he has, whether or not he should dredge the next turn. I think he should dredge the next turn. And then play the Jitta Alpha Strike, and the game is literally over. Because he has Centaur Garden in his hand.
I don't understand why Jitte is not in play with 2 counters on it.
I think the Jitte should have been attached to the Wild Mongrel prior to Red Zone.
He does have one in his hand, right? We didn't get a bad report.
He's just giving Tormos opens. The thing is, I'm pretty sure Billy has Centaur Garden in his hand, which means the Tog will kill Tormos if Billy gets to the next turn.
Irvin drew Blinkmoth Nexus.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, it's potential chump blocker.
Centaur Garden, trample.
Oh.
+X, trample. Dr. T's already, it's correct here to dredge. Get 3 more cards into the bin. Pick up 3 cards for +X/+O. Put down Centaur Garden, Red Zone with Psychotog, 1 million damage. There's no other acceptable play, except if he has spare mana to put a Jitta on it first. I mean, he should definitely drop an Arrogant Worm this turn, no matter what. Just to get more bodies.
I think Irvin Tormos should have Lava Darted on end step.
I don't know. What if he drew Lightning Helix?
What if he drew Lightning Helix?
I don't know.
I mean, he cast the one from his hand.
Oh, he had a lot of... Oh, you're right.
He has a lot of darts in his hand.
I thought you meant...
He's coming up 1 damage short. Like, hypothetically, he could get a Blink Moth Nexus attack in for a point of damage here, but he's going to run out of mana.
There's a Dark Blast.
That's a good point.
Billy has mana for Dark Blast and Arrogant Worm.
Alright,
So
Flashback Firebolt.
This game's over.
Yeah, it looks like Irvin Tormos is
Billy
gonna come
has
up
to make
one.
serious mistakes here to not win.
And he's at
He has a Centaur Garden, that's correct, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the Centaur Garden, game over.
Moreno's at 4. There's a dart and 2 darts that can get flashed back, but that's 1 point short. Irvin Tormos in
Arrogant
game
Worm.
5.
A Trampler.
And I can see his buddy from the booth here. Fed
Upkeep
People's
Dredge.
Money is in agony watching this.
Upkeep
So
Dredge.
close!
Upkeep Dredge.
Dredge back life.
Yep, Upkeep Dredge. There's no way he can miss this kill. I mean, he could play the wrong land by accident, but I can't imagine any other way to lose other than playing the wrong land by accident. Even without the Jitta in play. Light from the Loam for the lands. His hand is just wired now.
If by wired you mean it has a Centaur Garden
I mean,
and a Jitte that...
if he didn't have the Centaur Garden and the Jitte that should have been in play last turn, he still has backup Arrogant Worm.
Yeah, but he's getting burned out. The Arrogant Worm's irrelevant. His only way he loses is direct damage over the top.
The only way he loses is if he plays the wrong land.
Centaur Garden does seem good here.
Garden down, game over.
Centaur Garden
That's it.
in play.
Psychotog attacks alone. Actually, everyone. It does actually there's no relevance as to who's attacking where. He has to have 3 trillion damage here.
You sure Centaur Garden gets trampled?
I think it gives trample. Is it a foreign Centaur Garden?
Alright, Irvin Tormos activates Blink Moth Nexus. It gets Dark Blasted. It is not available for jump blocking, and Centaur Garden doesn't give trample.
Doesn't give trample? Why is there not a Jitta on creatures then? Why? Why is there no Jitta? I thought it gave trample. Oh, very bad. Are you sure it doesn't give trample?
Yeah. Our spotter on the floor just read the card. The Mongrel's not lethal, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 4 cards left. Oh, the Mongrel's lethal anyway.
Oh, the Mongrel's lethal?
Sure. Yeah, that looks like it's enough. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the Garden's +3/+3. Looks like it is good enough. Billy Moreno, ladies and gentlemen. With a nice teched out blue-green madness deck. Light from the Loam. Everybody else did cycling lands. There's the Jitte. It dealt the extra point of damage. And there's the hand. Billy Moreno, 3. Irvin Tormos, 2. Moreno advances to the semifinals. That's where he'll take on Chris McDaniel. It'll be Madness against Mind's Desire. On the other side of the bracket, we've got Kenji Samura's Psychotog deck versus Antoine Ruel's Psychotog deck. Wow. Let's hear it for the
crazy game.
That was a great game of Magic. Absolutely great game of Magic. And we will have more great games of Magic, I hope, in the semifinals. We're going to take a lunch break right now. We'll be back in approximately 1 hour. I'm going to guess 2:30 local time, and we'll make sure to get a graphic up on the screen for those of you on the internet so you know exactly when we're coming back. But we will see you for the semifinals in about an hour. I'm Randy Bueller for Mike Flores, signing off. Talk to you then.